Prananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Gukarastvandhakaro Vai Gukarastvandhakaro Vai Rukarastanivartakaha Rukarastanivartakaha Andhakara nirodhitvat Gururityabhidhiyate Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The etymology of the word Upanishad conveys what it does. That which removes a host of unnecessary things. This is the first definition. That which removes a host of all kinds of unnecessary things. Not necessary things, mind you. Unnecessary things. Whatever is necessary, it will not remove. Unnecessary things, it will do away with. Anartha vratan, a host of unnecessary, unpleasant, unwanted things. Visharati, it dissipates. This is the first definition of the word itself. Which word? The root verb shad coming at the end of Upanishad. Upani being prefixes. Shad is the word, and it has three meanings. The first one is that it removes whatever is unwanted. Now, when you make a list of all unwanted things, starting with in-laws, outlaws, and such things, and then you tell yourself, when you observe, I went to an Upanishad camp, I went to an Upanishad retreat, at the end of which they are all still there. What do you mean these people are removed? They are not removed at all. So does that make the Upanishad false? No. Then what do you mean that it removes unwanted things? Well, we have to fine-tune the definition of unwanted things. Even though the things appear to be unwanted, actually it's the idea of them that is not wanted, not the things in themselves. Isn't that correct? If the in-laws did not behave like outlaws, they wouldn't be unwanted. They would be, in fact, very much wanted. If the guest coming to the house for the holidays or whatever did not behave like a pest, again it would not be unwanted. Such a person would very much be wanted. Right? And if the significant other listened to everything you said and agreed 110% of the time, that also would not be unwanted. Very much wanted. So you see, it's not the thing in itself that the Upanishad removes. Like some kind of a mafia boss. Upanishad is not like a mafia boss. What does the mafia boss do? Just some eye movement, that's all. There'll be a lot of all these henchmen around. Meaning, off this fellow, off with his head, that's all. So it's not like that the Upanishad is saying, okay, off with these people and these things and everything, and then it is all done. No. So there is a very it shows that even in the first definition of the word Upanishad, the word Shad, what is that? We immediately have to fine-tune the understanding. Our own understanding and conception of what are the things that are unpleasant, unwanted, fearsome, tearful, fearful. This is what has to be ascertained before saying off with this one's head and this one should never cross my path and that one I don't like and all these things. So, anartha vratan visharati. That which gets rid of unwanted things. And again, we have to add a little caveat here. Not that it gets rid of the things themselves, but it gets rid of the dysfunctional and problematic relationship, my problematic relationship vis-a-vis those objects, subjects, things, etc. That is what it gets rid of. Now you see, we are having a very sophisticated understanding of this word. We are getting there. Then the question always arises because everybody knows you can in this world, in this jagat, you can get rid of things all right. But then after that what happens? They are back. Yeah. They are back. Everything that you get rid of is back. Like a skin ailment. You put some cream, gone. And then 3 days later, it's back. And then again, and then you think, okay, now I have taken some, not just topical treatment, I have taken some pills, etc. And then it's gone. But then it's back. Then you call the doctor, what do you mean? You said it will go away. Yes, ... The doctor says, whenever you are stressed, whenever the immune system is down, it will come back. In a way to remind you to take it easy, I suppose. So then, if getting rid of a whole host of unwanted things is the definition of the word Upanishad and is in fact the definition of the word moksha, freedom, then what use is this moksha which will come, which will bring all the things that are fearful, that are tearful, that cause distress back at some point? This I already know. When I am not stressed, I have moksha. I can be very, very compliant. I can be accommodative. I can embrace the whole world. Rare, but some days are like that. Suddenly I wake up and then everything is okay. I'm kind, I'm compassionate, I'm loving. And then what? When suddenly it flips, it turns, everything changes. The personal rain clouds gather on the head. They don't rain, they're just there. And then everything is as usual, or whatever I know the usual to be. What use of this kind of a moksha? Is this of any use? Say no, so we can move on. What is this? Is it of any use? There we go. Some signs of life. Occasionally, in the period of the class, you should show. Once in a while, you should say, you should let me know that you are breathing, that you are listening. This pandemic has made everybody lazy. Zoom kulam. This is not Zoom kulam, this is Guru kulam. Okay? You're here in person. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, we are interacting. And so, what use of is this moksha that gives a temporary freedom, and then again all the host of unwanted things such as fear, sorrow, anxiety, worries, distress, etc., all of them come back. This kind of a moksha is enjoyed every single day. Or rather, I should say every single night. When you sleep, what distress? No distress. No fears, no sorrow. Any tear shedding you are doing before you go to sleep. Not when you are asleep. When you are asleep, you have moksha every single day. Don't now ask the question, what am I doing here? I should be in my room sleeping. Because if sleeping is moksha, then why am I awake? Sleeping is akin to moksha. Because there is a regret when you wake up, correct? There is a regret when you wake up, and moksha in the form of sleep is enjoyed in its time, in real time, of course, but then you are not there really to enjoy it. The mind is asleep in a causal form, it is in the form of a bija, seed form. Mind is asleep, body is asleep. And so the place, why is the mind important? As we will see, this whole thing is all about the mind. This whole mantra we'll be studying is all about the mind. And the mind is important because it is a receptacle, a place where the knowledge takes place. And if that itself is asleep, then you may be having this freedom, but then you're not there to really enjoy it. Upon waking, you can say, what a fabulous sleep that was. Right? So therefore, this is a very persuasive reason for being here and not asleep in your room. All right? Because this is a moksha. First of all, this kind of a moksha is temporary, and secondly, you're not quite there to revel in it. You're not available. You means mind, ahankara, etc. They're not available. So therefore, this is the moksha that we do not want, because we have it all the time. When one is asleep, one feels like a mukta purusha, vidwan, however the Upanishad talks about it. And when one is in the throes of a good mood, so to speak, within quotes, good mood, expansive mood, again, one feels free, one feels connected to everything and everybody. But then those moments are fleeting. If this is the definition of moksha, It's not, much better than mocha that you get at Starbucks. That also is over. This is also over. We just have to see which one gets over first. So obviously, the yearning is somewhere else. And where is the yearning? The yearning is to have this moksha when? All the time. Do you want to be free of fear for 5 minutes? Already I told you the answer, okay, earlier, yeah. And I begged you to show us a few signs of life. Do you want to be free of fear for 5 minutes? No. Maybe one day, and then the fear will come back? Yes? No. When we talk of freedom from fear, how long you want to be free from fear? Forever. How long you want to be free of sorrow? Again forever. It's the forever that one wants, really. It's the forever that one wants. When? Forever. This is the second definition of the word Upanishad. That which dismisses the whole host of things which cause fear and sorrow in a way that does not come back. Shithili karoti unmulayati avasadayati. This is the second definition of the root verb shad. Avasadayati means you see, there are two ways of making sure the weed doesn't come back. The more common way, which is not good for the environment, what do? You spray something. You spray, what is that called? Some killer, weed killer. Round up? Yeah. You round them all up. But they have the last laugh. They have rounded up your sanity because 2 months later, tada! That which looks very dandy, dandelion, comes out. And then dandelion is the bane of every gardener because the seeds are ready to just burst forth and then create. Like Raktabijasura, many dandelions all over the place. Raktabijasura was some kind of a demon in the Devi Mahatmya. He had to be killed. He was in the form of Ragadveshas. These are all metaphoric, okay? But then you had to kill him without spilling a single drop of blood. Because if you spilled a drop of blood, he would clone himself into 1,000 of them, each drop. So like this, the dandelion is also like that. And it proliferates very quickly. So that is one way of removing the weed. What is the other way? Yeah, get down on the hands and knees. And then what? You pull it out along with the root. Unmulanam, this is called. Mula means the root. Ut plus mulanam, unmulanam, the uprootment. Then, of course, one doesn't do this properly. A few root fibers are left, and that itself is enough to make the weed grow. But we are talking of when there is a clean uprooting. Then, since the root is gone, then what happens? They cannot come back. That is the second definition of the word Upanishad. That which uproots in a way that the cause, the root cause is gone along with the symptoms. What are the symptoms? Fear and sorrow are the symptoms. These are the two things we do not want. Fear and sorrow are also known, aka, as samsara. Some sorrow or the other. Okay? Samsara. People think samsara is the disease. No, samsara is the symptom. Samsara is not the disease. This is the problem. If you think samsara is the disease and you are trying to eliminate samsara, it's like, what is that called? Lady Macbeth syndrome. What is Lady Macbeth syndrome? Yeah, constant OCD, some kind of constantly washing of the hands, and when she was not washing the hands, she would look at the hands in dismay because she would see spots of blood. Where were the spots of blood? In her head. Because she had commissioned the killing of her brother-in-law so that the husband, her own husband, could become the king. And so that guilt. She kept on seeing spots where there were none. So too, here also, you're not trying to eliminate samsara. Really speaking, what samsara? And so what are you trying to eliminate is the cause of samsara. Samsara is a symptom. Samsara is like Western medicine, okay? You what is that? Mostly the emphasis, not all the time, but most of the time, the emphasis is on symptom containment and management and symptom, what is that? To get rid of the symptoms. You have a headache, take Tylenol. What does the Tylenol do? It suppresses the pain nerves and etc., so you don't feel the pain. Until it wears out. That's why you have to take one every 4 to 6 hours, you have to keep taking it. This is one kind of an approach to any disease where the symptoms are seen as bothersome and you do some kind of a symptom containment, symptom elimination, symptom management. This is what you do. This is one approach. And then when you talk about indigenous systems of medicine, whether you're talking of ancient Indian medicine, what is that called? Ayurveda, Abba. Okay. And then ancient Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, other indigenous forms of medicine in Africa, etc., and parts of South America, all this. They don't treat the symptoms. They go to the root of that which is causing the symptoms. And so, there may not be a quick fix there. You may have to live with the migraine, wishing every day that it was somebody else's grain and not my grain. But when it is fixed, it is there because it is the fix is engineered through understanding the person, through understanding the cause of the disease, and not just eliminating the symptoms. So, unmulayati, shithilikaroti. Shithilikaroti means it freezes samsara. How? By uprooting along samulam, along with the cause. The effect and the cause are both uprooted. The effect is samsara, the symptom is samsara. Some sorrow or the other is the symptom. But that is not the cause. That is the mistake we make in assuming, in making some kind of a transference here, thinking that the cause, the effect is the cause. The cause is elsewhere here. And so the manifestation of the symptom is different from the cause. So here, the whole thing is uprooted in one go. Samsara is uprooted along with its cause. What is the cause of samsara? Abba, very nice, so clever, very nice. What kind of ignorance? Self-ignorance. Self-ignorance. That self-ignorance, that which is Upanishad, is that a tool a pickaxe, so to speak, which goes to the bottom of the manifestations of samsara and removes the self-ignorance, along with the symptoms. The second definition of the word Upanishad. Then there is also another final meaning of the word shadr, shad. And what is this shad? Gamayati, leads you. Gam, to go. Gamayati, that which causes one to go. Question, very important question. Go where? Where do I go? And it's almost like, the dog chasing its own tail and then finally understanding, or not, we don't know, but we assume it understands for the time being that this is not something to chase. It is my own body part. It's me only. So who is the wayfarer? Me. What is the destination? Me. So the goal is me, and the sojourner, the one who is undertaking the journey, me. And what is the road? Me. This is what it is. Everything is me. And so, gamayati is the word, very interesting, causal word. It leads. Leads means what? Because we need something proactive. We've had some violent metaphors of uprooting and killing and all these things. Removing, killing off, uprooting. We need something. These are all things that it eliminates. But what does it really do? What does the Upanishad do? It leads. Who does it lead? Me. Where does it lead me? Back to myself. Whole Upanishad is me. That's why an analysis of any mantra of the Upanishad is called Mimamsa. Really. That's why it's called Mimamsa. It's all about me. That's why you cannot but love the Upanishad. Because it puts in front of you a mirror that shows you as 20 years younger and 20 kilos less weight. Yeah. That's what is called 20/20 vision. Okay? Yeah. That's how it shows. Who would not like to gaze in this mirror? You don't even have to ask the question, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the best of them all. You don't have to ask those questions at all. That is totally redundant, totally unnecessary. Because you see yourself as full of presence. You see yourself as a glorious presence, never aging, and whole, free, limitless, joyous, never ailing. Who would not like to look into this mirror? So the Upanishad is a mirror. That's the third definition, Brahma Gamayati. Oh, but you said it takes me back to me, now you're bringing in Brahman. Who is Brahman? Me. That Brahman, the word Brahman is Atma, me. No other Brahman without being Atma simultaneously. It's all me. Nothing other than me. So this is the definition of the word Upanishad. These three things. What are the three things? What's the first thing? Unnecessary things, host of unnecessary things removes. Not just the symptoms. What is the second thing? Removes it along with the root cause, which is self-ignorance. And what is the third thing the Upanishad does? Takes you back to yourself. Mirror. Remember the mirror. Shows you in a light that you really wish to see yourself, but you do not know how because you lack a reflecting medium. That Upanishad is the reflecting medium. It is that which shows you the truth of you. The reflecting medium here means pramana. It's a means of knowledge that shows you exactly as you are. And that is what one wants. That is what one is yearning for. So this is the word shad. We still have upa and ni to contend with. Upa means near. Suddenly why this word, this very relative word, near, has come? How does it accomplish the removal of the symptom called samsara and the cause called self-ignorance? How does it do? By showing you that which is near. Near means what? From the standpoint of where I sit, this ashram is near. From the standpoint of the ashram, Saylorsburg is near. From the standpoint of Saylorsburg, Pennsylvania is near. United States, you say, okay, then then from the standpoint of Pennsylvania, United States is near. Northern Hemisphere, United States is near. And then from the standpoint of this globe, the sun is and the moon is near. Then the sun is near. Where does this near stop? Near should be read here as nearest. That which is nearest and by extension dearest to me. What is that? Me. That which is nearest to me, me. That which is dearest to me, also me. So by revealing that which is nearest to me, which is dearest to me, which is myself alone, the Upanishad accomplishes these three objectives. This is the word upa. Samipe. The upasarga means the prefix upa itself has an inbuilt sense of near. Then we have one more thing left. What is that? Ni. Ni means nishchayena. It's a kind of a promise right in the middle of the word. Definitely this will happen. Definitely this transformation will take place. Definitely you will lose sorrow, anxiety, fear, etc. by regaining the truth of yourself. And in the process of losing the sorrow and the fear, actually what you are losing is the self-ignorance, because of which the sorrow and the fear do not ever come back. They do not return. Now the Upanishad is sounding very good. Yes. Can I have some? And when can I have some? I want some. Can I have some is a very good question. Let's say the answer is yes, you can have some, you may have some. Then how to have it? Is it being served in the dining hall in the form of a buffet that you can go and serve yourself? Yes? Yes? No. Is it something that you can go to the bookstore? Because after all, how foolish of you, you can say, to say that it will be in the dining hall. Obviously, it's in the form of knowledge, so it will be in the bookstore. So let's go to the bookstore and then buy all the Upanishads that are there. Then, do you have it? No. The question is, why not? Question is, why not? Why can't I have it? Because the it that you want to have is you. But why can't I have me? Because you are not an object, you are the subject. Object is easy to have. It has a form, it is tangible. Even certain concepts may be intangible, but it is objectifiable. Like this kind of a weather pattern that we have, it's called, what is that called? It has a name. Huh? Yeah, Arctic vortex, polar vortex. It's not something you can hold, but you can objectify that. You can understand what it means, you can objectify it. Bomb, cyclone, you can objectify it. But here, the only thing in the entire universe that cannot be objectified is the one that is objectifying everything else. This is a very interesting paradox, so nice. The only thing in the universe which cannot be made into an object is that which is making every single thing into an object. Who is that? Me. The answer to every question is me, okay? Yeah. Except when it's not. So that's one of the reasons to stay awake. It's me. So, the whole world, in a sense, shines because I am the one naming it and cognizing the name and the form. I am the one cognizing the form, and I am the one giving every single thing in the universe, including concepts, very, very difficult concepts as found in particle physics and etc. Astronomy, all these things. I'm the one giving them names. I'm the one giving these things being. They have no being without me. A rose that blooms in the desert. Nobody is there to watch the beauty of the desert rose. Nobody is there to cognize its heady fragrance. It's as good as it did not even exist. Correct? Some species of animal or reptile or fish or something that nobody has ever heard of, and suddenly there is some breakthrough, scientific breakthrough, and so maybe one such thing washes ashore. Some dead new kind of a fish or some sea life, ocean life, aquatic life washes ashore. And then what? Then everybody is intrigued. Oh, it looks like this, but it's not this, and it looks like that, but it's not that. What could it be? Then they do a post-mortem. Then they say, okay, genus so and so. This is the species. And then depending upon what species it is, this is the behavior. These are its predators. This is its food. And is it a bottom feeder or a top feeder, whatever it is. They just study all this. And they finally give it the name based on the scientist who has come up with all these things. Whether it's a rock or whether it's a fish or whether it's anything. And then, in the news, we hear, oh, breakthrough discovery. From the standpoint of Bhagavan, this was always there. It's not that it's a new fish. It's not that it's a new rock. In fact, it's very funny to say new rock. Rock is always old. Millions of years old. Every rock. It can tell you stories. If you ask it, how are you doing today? It will ask you back. If it can talk, it will say, how much time you have. I can tell you the glory of when I was a tree. And then I got petrified. I became a fossil. Every Shivalinga that is got from the depths of the river Narmada, they are called Banalingas. Very nice Shivalingas. In fact, they are just rocks of any kind of shapes. But the mother basically embraces and lulls these rocks into these wonderful objects of worship to signify Bhagavan. That stands for Bhagavan Shiva. Very beautiful. This is what it is. Anything you see depends on you. Any discovery depends on you. Then afterwards don't tell me, no, it was not me, but this other fellow who discovered it. I'm talking generally. You means the person. What is this you? The person. What kind of a person? Self-effulgent person. Self-effulgent means I'm not an isotope, okay? It's not that I'm lit and a neon green. Not that. Self-lit doesn't mean that. Self-lit means the one who is ready with the answer to the question, are you here? Are you here? Yes. You don't say, let me check with the significant other. If I say, can I come to your house? You can say, oh, let me check our schedule and I'll let you know. But the question, are you here, does not need anything, is not dependent on anything. The answer is right there, yes, I am. I already am. And then everything else is because I am. I am and everything else is because I am. So now we can get a little funny, philosophically funny, and say that the isness of everything depends upon the amness, that is I. If after going back from the camp you talk like this, they will say, they will back off a few inches. Okay? So don't just go with the sentence, go with understanding what it means. So the isness of everything in the whole universe is because I am. I am shines independently. And that shining is knowledge. Knowledge of what? My own existence. Because when you say I am, what you're really saying is what? I know I am. That's why I don't have to check with the person sitting next to me. Am I sitting here? You don't have to say. I know I am. I am is equal to I know I am. This is the I, which is the subject matter of the Upanishad. I know I am. I am means I know I am. So that knowing is there, which is inextricable from the being, making me a knowing being. I am a knowing being. So what is this knowledge? This knowledge is the knowledge of my own existence. I exist iti knowledge, and it is also the knowledge of the existence of all other things in the universe. This is what it is. This is what has to be understood. So the knowledge of myself, and then the knowledge of every single thing in the universe. I know it exists because I can see it, I can grab it, I can hold it, I can infer its existence. Astronomy is growing. The field of astronomy is growing by leaps and bounds. So many discoveries. Especially since the new telescope came. What is its name? Webb telescope. Bye-bye Hubble. Okay, yeah. Hubble will be auctioned off on eBay one day. Yes, now we have Webb. And there you gaze into that telescope and you see a nursery of baby stars crying for their pacifiers, where the stars are born. That photo is amazing. All these NASA pictures are just fascinating, amazing, absolutely gorgeous. Then they have discovered so many what are called exoplanets. Means planets that are outside the solar system, but which they're not interested. There are so many exoplanets, but the scientists are honing in on a few that one can reach in our lifetime. Only this many light years away. That is how it should be. Why? Why are the scientists interested in that? Because we are making a mess of our own planet. That's why. So we want something not too far away, and this exoplanet, they cannot see it. It's not really visible, but they can infer. They can infer its mass. What else can they infer? They can infer its gravitational pull. They can infer how far it is from other planets and other heavenly bodies, celestial bodies, including its own satellites, etc. They can infer the atmosphere. It's amazing. Sitting here, just peering into a telescope, one can do that. This is knowledge. This is what is called jnanam. And then we have, the first one is I exist, I am. That amness is called Sat. Because I alone am without leaning on anything else for my existence. I don't lean on the neighbor, I don't lean on some other object. My existence doesn't have to be certified, ratified by anything, by any other power than myself alone. And this self-ratified existence is in the form of knowledge. The knowledge of my own existence and the knowledge of the existence of so many names and forms, so many forms I should say, some of which have yet to have names. So many things. Then the question arises, how long is my existence? If you look at it from the standpoint of genetics, one can say, well, my father lived this many years. My mother, is living this much. And the grandfather died when he was 98. The grandmother like this on both sides. So therefore, average, if I don't make a mess of my life by indulging in all kinds of substances, etc., then maybe I will be long-lived. This again is an inference. Maybe a correct inference, but it's an inference from the standpoint of what? The body. Then you can also have an answer from the standpoint of the mind. People talk about this like this all the time. I may have a few more good years. Meaning, before I have dementia, before I stop thinking clearly, I still have a few good years in me, physically and mentally. That is what it is meant. Physically, I have a few good years. Mentally, I have a few good years. This is only from the standpoint of the body and the mind, which we think are or should be permanent. But what if we do a shirshasana, a headstand here? What if that which declares its existence, what if that entity which declares its existence and declares its knowledge, what if that knowing being is the truth of this I? And what if that knowing being is borrowing this body-mind sense complex for a short or a long stay? How would that be then? That is turning the tables on our very understanding totally. And it is in keeping with the vision of the Upanishad. Very beautiful. Because we are laboring under a kind of an assumption. What is that assumption? The assumption is that this body is real. Real means sat. Real means that which undergoes no transformation. Already the body is disqualified immediately. So we belabor under some wrong assumptions. Body is real. Mind is real. Senses real. Other objects, other bodies also real. Other minds also real. Everything is real, real, real. But actually it is anitya, impermanent. It is impermanent. If it is impermanent, how can it be real? It cannot be real. Because the definition of the word real means that which cannot change. That is real. That which is the same in the past, in the present, in the future, that is what is real. Does the body qualify? No. Does the mind qualify? The answer to the second question is, I can't remember if it does or not. So are they real? No. So therefore, this headstand is needed here. Because the knowing being, where that I sense exists, I am, I name, I discover, I exist, I know. That is a visitor. Just like you are visiting the Gurukulam, you have been given a room, and then you are comfortable in that room. That is what we will assume, okay? Yeah. You are comfortable in the room, and it is a place where you can transact the business of attending the retreat. You don't look around the room in the Gurukulam and say, I don't like the artwork, or I don't like that there is no artwork. I need to drive back home and bring my favorite paintings and posters and put it on the walls. Oh, I don't like how the furniture is there. I am going to reorganize the furniture. In fact, in many rooms there is a caveat. There is a little thing that is posted. Please do not move the furniture. At least that is there in my room. Okay. But whoever wrote this notice, please do not move the furniture. A very forgiving kind of person, because then underneath was written, if you move it, please move it back. Oh, this is not your house. This is a place. This is not your home. This is a place where you are transacting business. That's why you don't bring your artwork. That's why you don't bring your couch. That's why you don't say, this arrangement is not looking nice. I have to make it a certain way. And why all these white walls? I want to color it purple and green and yellow and pink. So you don't carry cans of paint. Why? Because you know it is temporary. Early next year, you will be giving the key back, and then to Vimlaji, and then you will be going on your way. You know this. That is why there is no confusion. There is no confusion. That's why you are able to have a good time, and that's why it's kind of nice to get away from that which is your regular home. Why? Because you don't have the responsibilities here of cleaning, doing everything and worrying about whether it looks nice or whatever. You can just be, you can relax. So too, this body is a hotel room. Only thing is, you know the check-in date, but you do not know the check-out date. Check-out date is yet to be revealed. It is hidden. With who? A devata. Who knows? A devata by the name of Chitragupta. That is the one who knows the real check-out date. Gupta means hidden. Hidden means you don't tell everybody else. That is the surname of all accountants. Because in India, accountants cannot tell all the things of the shop and the organization. We are mostly running on debit. All these things you cannot say. Already nobody is coming. And then if you say that, finished. That's why Gupta means it has to be hidden. Gup, to hide. So here also, your own karma phala of when you check out of this hotel room is hidden. But then, thank God you have this hotel room called this body, air conditioned. If it is too hot, you sweat. If it is too cold, there are ways of conserving the energy and the heat. It is perfect. What a perfect house this is. Perfect. And it has an alarm system. If something is not right, the stomach will pain, the head will pain. You need to think about what you should not eat, what you should eat, etc. It's wonderful. Well ventilated, well thought out, intelligently put together. Intelligently put together. For whom? That indweller. The indweller whose pronoun is I. That is solely the pronoun of the indweller. I, aham, aham, aham. That I, which broadcasts its presence using the accoutrements called the body, mind, sense complex, the voice, the thinking, the mind, the memory, everything. Buddhi, chittam, emotions. This is a place which serves two purposes. This body-mind assemblage, karya karana sanghata. This body-mind assemblage serves two purposes. One purpose is to exhaust karma. Whatever karmas are there, connected to the body, etc., etc., those are exhausted. That is the main purpose. That is one of the purposes. I would say that's a gauna, this is a secondary purpose. The main purpose, to have this body, this particular mind, these particular senses, what is the main purpose? To gain this knowledge that this body is not my home. It's a temporary home. It's not my real home. That is the purpose. The purpose of this body, this is for the indweller. The indweller doesn't need this knowledge. The indweller is already free. But the one, the ahankara, the I notion that has attached itself to this body, needs to attach itself to the indweller as I. This gives the last definition of the word Upanishad a new meaning. And what is that meaning? Brahma gamayati. It walks this I notion from being confined to the body-mind-sense complex to that free, self-aware, all-knowledge, and limitless, forever consciousness, which is myself. That is who I am. That awareness is I. And that awareness right now is residing in this body, is presiding over this body. That is the awareness. That awareness is I. This has to be understood. But due to self-ignorance, the awareness is forgotten, the awareness is not really looked at, and then the clutching happens with the body, with the mind, with the senses, with everything that is finite. Yearning for the infinite is constantly yearning for the infinite is the cause of sorrow, is the cause of insecurity. Not finding the infinite is the cause of fear. Not recognizing the infinite as oneself is the cause of sorrow and fear. Because this I, the newly understood I, never comes to an end. Awareness does not come to an end. What is the proof? Awareness does not come to an end. Upanishad is the proof, because it says so. And I have to look at the Upanishad with that attitude that allows me to have that reverential trust pending understanding. It's not a belief. It's a trust pending understanding. I have to allow that to operate upon me. This is how one understands. So we see the problem here. The problem is thinking that to be my home, which is not. I know what my home is like. My home should be permanent. But here I'm always feeling like I'm in a rented house. It's not just a feeling, you are. This body is is a house full of rents. Okay? Yeah. This is what it is. So I have to. This is the problem. And so the walking over of this I to my home, whose meaning is Om, H silent, okay? Yeah. From home to Om as one's home. And more about that we'll see. We'll see how that is accomplished, and we'll see where this mantra fits in the evening class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadagya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.